Yo, what's good, everybody, and thank you for tuning in to another Tyler Perry SISTAS review. This is season 4, episode 15, entitled We Know Enough. If this is your first time coming to my channel, welcome. If you are a returning family member, you already know what it is and what it always will be. Like, share, and subscribe. Comment if you choose to. If not, just sit back and relax as we get into this thing. So first things first, I want to apologize if you guys can hear my neighbor. She is having a party, okay? And they lit. So if you hear the aunties in this audio, which I really hope y'all can't, because they saying some stuff that it should be inside talk, but they outside, you know what I'm saying, on the patio having a good old time. But that's what life is to be done. It's to be lived and loved and enjoyed. And that's exactly what these aunties are doing. But anyway, just wanted to get it out the way. So we open up how we left off last week, and Zach proceeds to beat Hayden's ass. I ain't gonna lie. The little niglet deserved it. I can't even front. After all the things he's done, he deserved it. But you know what? It was kind of almost, I'm sorry, it was a little team too much. I'm like, all right, it's in the scene. We get it. We understand. We know that Zach is upset. He's angry. He continues to ask where Fatima is. I'm like, you've been told several times that Fatima is in jail. Why is this a question that has been asked at this point in time? But we know that's typical Tyler Perry writing. So Karen appears, and of course she wants to know what's going on. She shows up when Zach is in the midst of being arrested. And I'm saying, to be honest, at this present moment, Hayden is the smartest person on this show. He has managed to get Fatima arrested, Zach arrested. He's actually got Zach arrested multiple times, and Hayden is just walking around here scot-free. Do I believe it's gonna all catch up to him? I absolutely do, but I believe it's gonna get worse before it gets better, meaning I believe Hayden is gonna cause more hell before anyone is scot-free of his shenanigans. So Andy and Karen proceed to go to her office, and Andy fills her in on what's going on. And Karen's response was So Andy was taken aback, and she was like, that's all you have to say. And she was like, she has her own dilemma, which is, she's pregnant and she doesn't know who the father of her child is, and she confided, to Andy with what was going on. And let me just say this episode, not that I didn't think it was like a great episode, but excuse me, one of the things I really did like was the maturity in the nature of Karen's conversations with Andy and Aaron. And I know that there were some people who I saw the comments who, it don't matter what Karen does, she gonna get dragged regardless of what she does. But I actually appreciated it, and I'll tell you why when I get to Aaron's part. But even with Andy, the one thing I do not like that Tyler does is that anytime it seems like Karen is on the brink of making sense, she's on the brink of having wisdom, echoed throughout her conversation, we go into I'm not over Zach. I still want Zach. I still love Zach. And I hate the fact that Tyler has created that narrative for her, yet you see Zach living his life over here with another woman, and he's moved on, which he should, you know what I'm saying? So I hate the fact that Tyler continues to etch that into the character Karen. And so what I did appreciate was the fact that, she brought up the possibility of her having a baby by a man she doesn't know is terrifying, even though he is a good man. And I'm glad that Tyler wrote that. I'm glad that it was finally said, because at the end of the day, as we know, these seasons are only like 8 days. You know what I'm saying? So if you look at it that way, none of them knows any of the people that they're dealing with truly on an intimate level. So I'm glad that it was stated, because it goes back to say, Zach and Fatima are riding hard for each other, and they've only known each other a hot second. You know what I'm saying? And Karen and Aaron have known each other longer, because I believe he was introduced on the second episode of the first season. So I'm glad that was talked about. I'm glad that piece of vulnerability was displayed. Like, yeah, I'm pregnant. I want it to be Zach simply because I don't know Aaron like that. And all the stuff that happened with his wife and all of that good stuff like that. And it's almost like a lot of times people don't mind weathering a storm that they're familiar with. But if I have to enter a storm and I don't know how strong the winds, I don't know how hard the rain is, I don't know how sharp the lightning is, I'm going to tend to pick what I'm most familiar with. I don't even think Karen actually wants Zach. I just think it's the familiarity that she longs for, that she desires. And also even her believing that the person that I wanted him to be, that's what I'm seeing now. You know what I'm saying? But he just couldn't be that for me. And I think that's a valuable lesson. It doesn't matter man or woman. There are times you may want something from someone and they're just not going to be that for you. And even if you give it another try, what you see, there's too much damage in the relationship. There's been too much hurt and there's too much chaos to make something, be effective and successful. And that's what I see with Karen and Zach. And I would so appreciate when Tyler can just stop the madness and let Karen just be happy minus Zach. But knowing Tyler Perry and Tyler Perry fashion, he's going to allow Aaron and Karen to get closer. He's going to allow them to form this bond, this relationship. And then it turns out it's going to be Zach, baby. He'll do something like that. And I guess it serves for good entertainment, but I hope it doesn't go that way. So Andy ended up calling, what's his name? Robin, and to call, but she got his voicemail. She told him to call her back. So Karen ends up calling Aaron to have him come over to her house. She tells Andy that, she was very mean to him, and, I guess she just wants to call and, make things right. So Sabrina and Bayo have small talk. It was a lot of small talk in this episode. So Sabrina and Bayo are having small talk. He wants to see her, and so he invites her. First, he invites her to the restaurant. Then that little I ain't gonna call him no bastard. Then the brother slid in there and he invited her to his place. And so she suggested that he comes to her place. And I think Bayo is incredibly sexy. You know what I'm saying? I think he's so attractive with his little chocolatey self. But they didn't say much. That was really all it was. He just wanted to see her. He let her know that he had pictures from when the flowers were delivered to the hospital. And that was pretty much all that was said. He was like, you are so beautiful. You deserve to be, you shouldn't drive. You deserve to be driven and all that stuff like that. And so we get to Danny and Preston, and Preston was on BS. Preston was on BS. Number one, you called this woman to make sure she wouldn't be home the following day so that you could come get your stuff so that you wouldn't see her. Okay, bet. Danny agreed to it. You call her because you're outside of her door at a time that you stated you were not supposed to be there. So they really didn't say much either. It was like kind of small talk. She let him know that she knew that he was operating in one of the Zach-isms, you know what I'm saying, and it just wasn't gonna pan out the way that he thought that it was gonna pan out. And so she was like, okay. He was like, well, I'm about to go. She's like, all right, unless you got something you want to talk about. And he was kind of stalling. And Sabrina, Lord, Sabrina literally used her key to enter into Danny's apartment. I don't understand. I don't understand. Why is Sabrina the only one just sticking the key, just walking into people's homes? For what? Heifer knock on the door. It was not an emergency. You didn't need to do that, but whatever. So she does, and whatever conversation Danny and Preston were going to have, it's going to have to wait because Sabrina just came in and messed everything up. At this point, and I've been at this point with Danny and Preston, I just want them to go their separate ways. Tyler is introducing these new men, and I'm like, just give us something new. Even if it ain't for the long run, even if it don't work out, just please give us something new, because we are sick of the whole, I know I am. I'm sick of the whole Danny and Preston situation. You know what I'm saying? Just leave them alone. I don't know. They obviously like each other, but neither one of them are acting mature enough to just put it out on the table exactly what the hell they want from each other, and then act as such, follow through as such. So I wasn't mad that Sabrina actually came in and destroyed that scene. I was actually kind of happy. So they decide to go to the grocery store before they go to Andy's. So next we get Calvin, Maurice, and Q. This is by far, this is by far the strangest storyline that I have ever seen. And I've seen some crazy things that Tyler has written. Well, I'm gonna say crazy. For Sisters, it is definitely the weirdest storyline to me. And the fact that Calvin is just so cool, I have no problem with him living here after he told his story. And I'm like, everyone has a story. Now, initially, I was going to make a separate video, but I'll just include it in the review. Initially, I thought, okay, cool. Calvin, and this is, sensitive in nature, dealing with sexual assault. So just, warning. So we know from Calvin's character makeup is that Calvin's uncle had a grown behind woman have sex with him when he was a child because he didn't want Calvin excuse me, he didn't want Calvin to be gay like his adoptive fathers. So he had a grown nasty ass woman who deserves to be in jail rape him basically. And so when Q told his story, I'm like, okay, maybe that's how Tyler was gonna maybe be a bonding moment or to be a moment of vulnerability. But it's like Tyler put that mess out there for Q to say, and it just went like, okay, what was the purpose of him explaining this story? I don't know. So Calvin ends up leaving. He tells Q that he could sleep on the couch. He has no problem with it. And Maurice was basically like, well, he don't speak for me. I don't feel that same way. I want you to know that I don't want you here. Excuse me, so on and so forth. And so he told Q, hey, I need a home cooked meal every night. You wash the dishes. Basically, you living here and you eating here for free. No, I'm not going to help you wash the dishes because Q had asked for help. And so I just didn't understand it. He was like, even what you shared, like, I'm not moved. It doesn't mean, like, we all got a story. You know what I'm saying? We all got a sad story. And Q was like, well, I didn't tell you that for you to feel sorry for me and blah, blah, blah. And yes, I'll cook whatever and anything else you want. And to me, it's insulting. It's insulting because A, Q's a thief. B, he's held Maurice and Sabrina at gunpoint. And then he has the audacity to make these sexual advances in his communication towards Maurice, even though he's told you several times to stop. He's not interested. Don't do it. And yet we still have this man continuing to do these unwanted sexual advances toward Maurice. I don't like it. This is a storyline I can't get with. It's a storyline I just simply don't care about. I literally do not understand the purpose of it. There is nothing that Tyler, for me as a viewer, there's nothing that Tyler can do. There's no way he can spin this that would make me care about this storyline in a way of like how it actually appeals to the whole conception of Sisters. I don't understand it. Excuse me, I don't know what's going on with my voice. I just don't understand it. But anyway, we get to Karen and Aaron. Now, me personally, now this back and forth, he tells her that, he came over, he bought some ice cream, and he tells her that he loves her. And he was like, I know you love me. I can see it in your eyes. I can feel it by sitting. I can feel it by sitting here. I feel it in your heart. I was like, Aaron, stop. Now, we have heard Karen has told Aaron that she loves him. In the episode when she told him that, he was like, but, and she said, no buts, I do. And so now it's almost like, I really don't love you because I don't know you like that. And, and let me tell you something. I have, y'all, there have been people, let me not say people because I don't want y'all to think like don't have a good, understanding of my emotional capacity. But there was a guy in particular that I met, and we spent the whole day. I didn't know him well at all. and we spent the whole day together, and it was such a surreal moment. And I'm looking at this dude and I'm like, am I in love with this nigga? Like, do I love him? Because it was such a deep interaction that we had. It was very intimate, very emotional. Sex was not involved. It was just conversation and just how open we both were. It was something that I had never experienced, not that quickly. It made me really consider, like, damn, what is this? Like, I should not feel this way about somebody I don't know. So I don't personally put a time frame on the fact of, you can't love somebody that you just met and all of that. I don't subscribe to that, and I don't believe that. I believe that emotions and feelings are fickle, and no one can tell you how you feel about someone, and there is not a length of time to determine how you feel about somebody. So I'm like, okay, Karen, you've already said you love them. That has been established, and she did. What I did like about it is that it was truthful. I don't know if this is your baby. I don't want it to be, because I don't know you that well. And that is the reality. Some people, I saw a lot of people saying, oh, so you really didn't know him that well, but you still had sex with him, and you still had unprotected sex. And I was like, so if we want to be completely honest and a buck about some shit, Karen is the character who actually waited the longest to have sex with someone. Danny, Sabrina, Andy, as well as Fatima and Zach, because let's not forget, Fatima and Zach slept with each other the second day they met. Andy wasted no time with Paris. Danny, I think she had sex with Preston the first day he came over to her house. And we know that Sabrina and Calvin had sex or did a sexual act like the second day they actually chilled with each other. So I'm like, miss me with that. All of them get down. Karen was the only one who actually waited a while to have sex with Aaron. We know the hell it took 3 damn seasons to be exact. But and he got a little taste on the second season, but we ain't gonna count that because Zach came in, broke it up, that was it. But so I was just like, I could appreciate that, like, because she doesn't know him well. They don't know each other well. And when Aaron popped up on the scene, he did come with a lot of baggage. He had this ex-wife who was not mentally stable. He had these kids, these crazy ass in-laws who were, just doing crazy stuff. And so I'm like, yeah, I understand what she was saying. It's a lot. And you also witnessed this man's wife in her life in front of you. And Karen has never, Tyler Perry, no counseling. Everybody, yeah, you see something so traumatic and you just go about your way as if it was nothing, as if, it was whatever. It was as if it was a normal event to happen. And so, that, he talked about it. And you could tell that Aaron was hurt, but he understood. And I think that's the thing. And I was like, that's kind of dangerous too, because it made me think, like, I'm like that. Like, I can be told something that I don't like, that may even infuriate me. However, if it's something that I can understand, it's like, I understand. That's fair. I felt like I was watching myself answering certain questions. That's how I respond to, like, real life situations. I'm like, I don't like it, but that's fair. I don't like that, but I do understand where you're coming from. It is hurtful, yet putting myself in your shoes, I can understand that. I feel where you're coming from. It's a mature way to handle shit, but it's also like, but I still got to process the emotional aspect of how your honesty has affected me. And so that's how I feel like Aaron is. And so I don't know. I like the little moment between them. I like the honesty. I still want to see the Aaron that we saw in the first season and the second season, someone who was very assured, someone who was very confident, and he stood on that and he made what he wanted known as well. At this point, we don't know what Aaron wants, because he's basically telling Karen, I will do whatever you need me to do. Whatever you want me to do, I'm going to do. And I think that's sweet. But brother, I want to know what you want. I want to know how you feel. I want to know, you know what I'm saying? What do you feel you're obtaining in this situation with Karen? So, Karen was saying that, she wanted some pickles and some ice cream. And I guess that was like her little pregnant moment because she shocked herself by saying that she wanted, pickles with this ice cream or whatever. And, Erin was like, that's normal. And so she was like, yeah, because I'm pregnant. I'm pregnant. So I guess maybe we're going to see her be more happy about the fact that she is with child, even though she don't know who the hell the child baby daddy is. So Erin goes to get her some pickles, go to the store and he'll be back. So Andy and Robin. So Robin is finally out of the friendly skies. Robin has been in a private jet for the past like 10 episodes. Like, damn. Okay, so he's finally back on solid ground. Okay, but anyway, they didn't have much to say either. So basically, Andy tells Robin everything that happened and that, Fatima assaulted Hayden. He lets her know that he'll be able to get Fatima out. And it may be a little bit of, more pulling of teeth to try to get Zach out because he has a record. And so he was like, but, you can go ahead and get her. So Robin is very confident. And I like that. I think that's sexy, even though I think he's an asshole. He's very confident in his ability as a lawyer and his connections, you know what I'm saying, in the legal field. So I actually do like that about him. But that's really all that was. But then it went to quid pro quo because it was like, okay, if I do this for you, what you gonna do for me? I'm like, look at this bastard. But that's how it is. And him and Andy, they've crossed several lines. So her doing something reciprocating, I don't think she'll have a problem with that. And I think Andy actually enjoys having sex with Robin. And so Hayden calls Gary to let him know that Robin is back in town. I don't understand exactly what Gary needs to know about Robin. What is he trying to obtain? How is it gonna? I don't understand. Like, what are you trying to do? I don't get it. And so Hayden obviously doesn't know Robin's position in the law firm, because if he did, he wouldn't be doing the things that he's doing. But that's Hayden. He's just in the dark. He just does not know anything, that's going on with that entire situation. So Andy goes to the jailhouse. Fatima is out. Fatima had left her work phone at the office. She wants to go get it because that's where all her contacts are. But Andy had to tell her that Zach is in jail, so she was asking Andy, do she think she could get her to see him? So that's what Andy was going to be trying to do. So we go to the grocery store, and Sabrina and Danny is making small talk, going down the aisle. There's these two women who are following them, and they're like geeked up, like you could, like, they're fans or something. And long story short, they tell Sabrina that she is on their newspaper back at home. So the young lady went to go show Sabrina, and Danny snatched her phone, and they find out that Bio is a prince. I said, oh, Coming to America theme. Has he met his princess? Has he met the one? I said Tyler Perry. So I'm like, is Bio trying to take Sabrina back to Zamunda? I need to know what's going on. But anyway, that was Sisters. It wasn't a bad episode. It just, to me, it was just like, I don't know, the dialogue kind of got to me. I think the dialogue was like really trash. But it wasn't a bad episode, but it was just like, I think that the conversations just could have been a little bit more crisp and, put together. And so something I want to do, I get a lot of questions. I get a lot of questions concerning Sisters. So what I want to do, because I said I want to put more content out, I'm doing a lot of stuff in addition to like YouTube or whatever like that. It's a lot of stuff. I will inform you guys later, but those who are on Patreon, they know what I do. But and if you're interested in Patreon, the link will be in the description box or what have you. But I want to start answering you guys' questions. Some of the questions, a lot of them are the same. So I'd rather just put them in video form and answer them, because somebody else may have the same question or may just be interested in my answer to the question. So that's what I'm going to do. I thank you guys for listening. Like always, Y'all be safe out there. Let me know what y'all thought about this episode in the comments. It wasn't a lot of like excitement, I guess, other than the fight initially. And that was just one-sided. You know what I'm saying? If it was going to be, it wasn't really a fight. It wasn't really a fight. But yeah, let me know what y'all think, how y'all feel. And until next time, I will holler at y'all later.